We are live and we are back. Hey, y'all, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews, where I'm going to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. I'm proud of myself because I did it in my last video, not doing it in this video. Ain't no way in hell. See, there it is. But joining me live, I have my girl, my bestie, Mrs. Best, aka Amina. Y'all give my girl some love. She celebrated her 31st birthday. I got it wrong in the last video, so I got to make up for it in this video. My
Aged me a
homegirl,
whole year.
my homegirl of 15 years has turned 31, y'all. Woo. Lord Jesus. 31 years old. That was just a couple years ago for me, but hey.
Hey.
So we are here, as you can see by my lovely background of the beautiful Miss Juicidora. We are recapping Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 3. Drew's face is literally my reaction to this entire scene. So I just thought it was fitting that I found it on Google, and I'm going to use it. Shout out to Google for capturing this moment of Drew, or whoever is responsible for this. Whoever is responsible for that, thank you so much, because I'm definitely using it as my background.
He said it's gonna be the new background.
It's going to be the new background of this video. So, how did you feel about the episode overall, Amina?
So, like, parts of the episode were really good, and then other parts were kind of like,
Yeah, it was given definite filler-ish kind of, and then Marlo came out of nowhere with some bullshit. So I'm trying to figure out
that's what
between the
she does
two.
best.
Yeah, it's like, what just happened? It was literally like, what just happened? So, starting off the episode, the ladies have all gotten back from BravoCon. BravoCon was the previous week. They're all back and they're all giving their stories of what happened. I'm gonna start with Candy first. Candy was saying all the things about Mama Joyce
He acted a
being on
fool.
BravoCon and talking badly about her husband, Todd. Mama Joyce said, I would have chose somebody who had a real job. And it was like, oh God, I was cringing the entire time. I said, Mama Joyce, really? We are still here, damn near 10 years later. We are still here.
That lady, I think she
Mm-hmm.
just wants to be relevant a little bit.
I don't
That's
even think it's that. I think she just really is one of them. Like, what was Wilma Flintstone's mama's name? Like, I can't think of that lady's name to save my life. But I remember watching a cartoon. She reminds me of Wilma Flintstone's mama.
I can't say.
Where Fred couldn't do nothing right. Fred was working, bringing home a check, doing all the things for Wilbur, but that mama still didn't like him. She wanted her to marry the substantial millionaire, and it's like that's not what she wanted. So why don't you respect her wishes? It's not like he's a bad guy. So Mama Joyce she's way too much. So Candy is kind of over it at this point, which anybody would be.
Yeah,
Like,
we just see it on TV, but Candy has to live this in like real
yeah,
time. I can't. I can't imagine. I can't imagine having a mother-in-law like that. So I do kind of feel for Todd. I have a
right.
I have a wonderful mother-in-law. Thank you, Jesus, because
Yeah, because some people don't get lucky like that at all. Some people get exactly this or worse. So, you have to be grateful for when you got a good mother-in-law and she's just
thank
a
you,
sweet.
Kathy.
Yes, shout out to Miss Kathy. So now we're gonna go move it on over to Sheree, Marlo, and Sonia, who also were talking about BravoCon, and Sheree also was bringing up Martell and this whole situation. She just wants people to respect Martell. He has been just an amazing man to me, despite what he does on Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Can't be
I
ridiculous.
just I don't experience that. Like he has shown me nothing but kindness and has just been so wonderful. And
You know what Martell hasn't shown, Sheree? A formal title. Yeah, we're dating. We're dating.
yeah,
Yes.
I need Sheree to date. I need Sheree to go on more than one. I need Sheree to go on 50 dates. I need Sheree to understand what the term dating is. And I need her to date men of quality.
Yeah.
Like I need you to start dating men that just will just bring nothing but purity, enjoyment, and just at this grown age that you are at, I need you to have men above Martell, because Martell, let's not forget, is about 15 years younger than you are.
Sheree will have grandchildren older than Martell's children. That's all.
I wasn't even gonna go there with you with that. Nah, I'm
No,
not gonna do that.
that's
But
all. That's all. That's
I'm just
how much
thinking
this shit
like
does not make sense.
it doesn't make sense at all. And the fact that Sheree even said this out of her mouth a second time, I'm just like, Sheree,
When you
really?
watch Sheree, don't you feel yourself? I know we're
Yeah,
supposed to
like
pat, but you end up scratching your head because you're like, what?
she gives me that she really is in love with this dude.
Sh-
Like, I'm sorry, like that's the only thing that makes sense to my mind is that she has to be. I think she is really falling in love with this dude.
That girl is dingy. And that's just what it is,
This
especially
is
when it comes
dingy and
to
is
men.
delusional as hell. And I'm just thinking to myself, well damn.
If he's got a man part, in my opinion, and Sheree seems like the type who will entertain whoever entertains her.
No, Sheree gives me that's not even it. Sheree gives me I have to have an attractive one this time.
Oh,
He has to be he has to be a fine one this time because
they do
initially
get
we
more
had
and more
Bob
attractive.
and then you had Tyrone. Now we
Mhm.
got Martell. So
Right.
she said he got to be to her caliber because like Martell's okay. But when I'm talking about the most attractive one of them all, yes, he is. But she seems to get some that are just even worse than the one she had before. Which I don't know how you can get worse than somebody who's been in prison. I don't know how you do that, Sheree, but she managed to do it.
Because she 15 years younger. I didn't realize it was that big of an age gap.
It's like okay, I'm gonna say it's not may not quite be 15, but I know it's more than 10. I'll just put it that way.
Oh Lord, it's still too much.
It's still too much.
Yeah.
He got baby children.
Hmm.
Like, hello, Sheree. Is anybody home? Moving on, because I ain't got time. Because Sheree gonna make me mad all over again. I told you I'm not gonna be on this channel bashing Sheree and her perpetration and delusions of
You know
grandeur and
what? I
shit.
see a lot of people who do recaps on RHOA. A lot of people who do recaps say the same things that you say. Like the Kim Buyer, shout out to him, says that a lot. Look, I am not bashing Sheree. That is not what we want to do. Every flipping recapper reviewer is saying the same thing. And I just have to say, I really don't give a flying. You know what? It's hard not to bash that lady when she makes decisions as stupid as she does. It's not that you bashing her. It's just like when people do things that are to a certain caliber of stupid, there's sometimes just no nice way to comment on it. But that's all I had to say on that. I'm just glad we did get less Martell.
Sheree
So,
and Martell.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm happy as well.
yeah.
So moving on to Sonya. So Sonya brings up Drew, and Drew calling her out at BravoCon when they were sitting in their collective circle and like the reunion almost. So Sonya said her issue, she flips it. So she said her issue was Drew flipped her hair at the reunion, and that's what triggered her. And
That was like the dumbest thing to pick
I
because
said, what?
y'all been arguing before that hair flip.
Right.
That was
I
like a
said, so
millisecond.
Sonya, what is the actual problem? Because you're not making any sense. You mad because Drew flipped her hair at the reunion. You thought y'all gotten past the other issue, which we really didn't understand what that issue was. I mean, we did, but it didn't show the way you wanted it to show. So that's why you ended up looking crazy. Now here you go again, doing this bullshit to try to fit in with Marlo and Sheree. You act like we don't see that shit.
Right.
You act like we're not looking at you right now. You trying to fit in with Sheree and Marlo. Because you
Sanya
know
Gibbs, like even though she has the Olympic gold medals and stuff, it seems like she just wants to fit in.
she does.
She
She
just
gives
wants
me
to
the
be.
girl that will throw like if you go think of high school and you think Sonya and Drew coming in high school best friends, Sonya see the girls with the labels and the pretty girls, and they looking at Drew like, oh, why you walking with her? So she throws Drew under the bus in order to get in with them, and so they happy that she doing that. That's what they're doing, and it's like
And it's like, these women, when I'm watching the Housewives series in general and things like this petty start to happen, I'm like, you guys are so y'all old shit. Y'all is mature women that have lived life for multiple decades to like should be past the whole I want to fit in. I want to go here. And that whole that's my thing with the Real Housewives of Atlanta that I don't like about the newer generation of it is these newbies that come on and then the people who end up staying on the cast end up behaving like high school, quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little tiresome. It's like if I wanted to deal with immature adults, I'd go watch Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
Just saying. So I wish that they would behave differently. I can't stop laughing at this. Every time I look at Drew,
Mm-hmm.
I laugh.
I know, right? That's why I'm keeping it up for a little bit. But the problem that we have with these three in particular, Sheree, Marlo, and Sonya, is that they're trying to make it so noticeable that they're trying to take Candy down at any avenue that they can.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and move on from them and then focus on Marlo. It will
Yes.
all intertwine in a minute.
Yeah.
So Marlo brings up at the middle of the episode that she misses her nephew who was a chef. He actually worked at Candy's restaurant. We see her driving in the newly black Bentley that she just got.
Is that
You
what that
know,
was?
yeah, it's a Bentley SUV. I said, okay, Marlo, we see you. She was picking up clothes from Neiman. She actually had the guy, drop off the stuff to the car, and was talking about how her nephew this entire time, and we were like, where did this nephew come from? Where,
Right.
where did this come from? Like, how we go? How you get here? So I guess, but did she say it was the anniversary? I had missed something watching this scene.
I didn't catch that it was an anniversary or anything.
She just brought him up just randomly.
She was talking about candy, I think. It's usually
And she
candy.
randomly just bought this up. I mean, I
Yes.
get that it made news that her, godson cousin was shot, and everyone had their little shade. Sheree included, said, "We don't know if we're going to get bullets or biscuits." And see, and I said, "Sheree,
I didn't look. Sheree need to stop trying to throw shade at anybody. Talk about we don't know if we're getting bullets or
we
biscuits.
don't know if we're
Someone
gonna
is
order. We don't know if we're
actually
gonna order.
shot.
Yeah,
Who
we don't know if we're
says
gonna order
that?
from Food by Sheree. If we're gonna get a clean shirt or a wrinkled one. We
My
don't
husband
know.
is in the background cracking up at us right now. I'm
We
so
don't know. We don't know what we gonna get out of your business, Sheree. Are we
who
gonna get our
says that?
order? Yeah, who says shit like that? That's
Bullets or
stupid.
biscuits? Who the fuck? How about I'm glad everyone was okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone was
I'm glad
okay.
he
Like,
was
come on,
fine.
Sheree.
I'm glad he lived. I'm
Who's
glad
her
all of it.
fucking publicist that she would not know? This is
A publicist, Sheree don't pay no damn body. Hell, what the hell? Talk about who's her publicist. She ain't got no damn publicist.
you're right.
She ain't got no damn publicist. The
She
hell?
doesn't pay people.
She don't pay people. Who the hell gonna work for Sheree for free?
This is Sheree's
I
face and
hope.
Drew's face when people expect her to pay. Sheree,
Right. No, no, this was that chef's face. Because Bondi Blue brought it up. I was watching Bondi Blue's review yesterday, and she had brought it up like, because I was thinking this, I didn't want to say it in the other review. I was like, I hope Sheree's paying that chef that's cooking all this food for her. I pray Sheree is paying that lady. I pray that she is.
people were tweeting that. Go Google it. They're like, I hope the chef is paid.
Yeah.
I see something on Instagram. People were like, I know that what episode wasn't about her, but why do people keep accepting jobs to work for Sheree? They know they check gonna come late. I'm like the internet
Oh,
ain't
not at all. Well, if I see Sheree on my caller ID, I'm gonna send it right to
look.
my voicemail and then delete it because I ain't got time to hear it. Like I ain't got time to hear it because I don't. Ugh, it's so bothersome to me, but yeah. But Marla brought that up out her ass, so we'll get to that at the end because I was like, so I have an opinion about that. 'Cause I saw her on Watch What Happens Live, and I was like, they didn't even bring this shit up. That's how I know this was some bullshit.
They didn't bring
So
it up, and she was on
no,
Watch What Happens Live.
no, they didn't bring up this incident with Drew.
Why?
That's what I'm trying to figure out too. So let's
That's
move.
why Watch What Happens Live's ratings be down and up.
Exactly. He didn't bring that up at all. Like they brought up a small part of it, but they didn't brought up why she had the issue with Drew.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So moving on from there, I done lost my damn point because I'm so upset. What do I want to talk about next? So we talked about Candy and Todd and Mama Joyce and all this. Oh, Magnetta was there. I forgot to mention Magnetta. Sorry, Magnetta. I love you, baby. Um, and I forgot to say Magnetta. And we talked about Sheree, Marlo, Kenya. I
Mhm.
mean, Sonya. Kenya. Where was Kenya in this episode?
You haven't
It's like
discussed Kenya yet.
my mind literally just had a meltdown
It's
right now because
okay. You said for Sanya and the trio, you say you're gonna wait because it's all gonna correlate later. And
yeah.
then you have
So
moved on.
Kenya, because I'm like Kenya's scene. I'm trying to go off memory here because Kenya's scene. She was yelling at her videographer or her graphic designer, one of the two.
Now, get it right.
I said, Kenya, I could work for you, baby. I'm sorry, you either. You might pay people, but that attitude,
Mhm.
hell no. There's absolutely no way that I would respond to that. I
Yeah.
actually, just kind of make a fun little cute story. I actually had a supervisor at USPS that was just like that.
Oh hell no.
And when
Mm-mm.
I tell you, I used to read the fuck out of this lady because you weren't going to talk to me like that. I am sorry. You weren't going to talk. Everybody at USPS will tell you. I sure did. Every chance I got, I read
You
the fuck
read her
out
for
of her.
filth. That's my
Absolutely.
friend, y'all. That's my
No,
friend.
because I'm like, wait a minute. Like, because I don't come from factory work, y'all. I do not. I come from straight up corporate America where
Right.
we are professionals.
We don't talk to each
I
other like
A
that.
little pandemic had me skirt my way to a factory, getting a job there. And when I tell you the disrespect them supervisors have for them employees, I'm like, do y'all realize this is y'all assembly line? That this is
Right.
what
You
keeps the
need your
paycheck
employee.
going? That you need
I
to be as
child.
respectable as possible, and this is what we doing?
My husband works for Tesla, and the shit he be telling me, and I was a manager in corporate areas, so he
Yeah.
be telling me, I'm just like, they did what? You said what happened? I'm like,
Like
hell no, we
it be
need to
literally
email
shit that can
HR.
get you.
This is
It
what you need to
Yeah, it
see.
literally is shit that can get you
I
sued.
cannot.
They was doing that shit, and I was like, y'all are crazy.
James
I
said
said,
I'm not used to that. He said I gotta look to my left,
yeah,
look to
I
my
had
right.
to
Who the
read.
hell she talking to?
It was one or two of them I had to read. One because one was cussing, and I said, oh, "Wait a minute, we're not even gonna do that. I don't know who you think this is, or I don't know what the fuck you thought this was, but we not gonna do that here." Like, like I had to go off on her. So, child, the people was everyone was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did that." I said, "I'm sorry, I don't care
I'm
about this that
paid to
much."
do my job, not
Yeah,
talk to
nothing
me any kind of
abuse.
way.
So yeah, Kenya did that. I was like, "Wow, Kenya."
And that's not the first time. She done talked to her employees crazy.
Yeah, I know there was another incident too, and I was
Right.
like,
I'm
Kenya,
like,
like I get you paying people, but baby, that's not the way. Like,
the only random thing about Kenya, I do have to say, I would like to see her on kind of like a Queen's Court type show. I'm trying to figure out what she like to date.
you know what? No, this is not. That's not the show for her. You know what she would be good at? What's that show called where they invest in people's products? It's
Shark
like you
Tank?
go, huh? It's
Shark Tank?
yes, she would be perfect on that show, Shark Tank, because
You want
her,
her in business, not on
huh?
a date.
No, well, I'm talking about like career wise, because I'm not trying to
Mhm.
correlate her dating and career because that doesn't work for her, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get her a career. If Real Housewives of Atlanta decided to cut her, she needs to audition for Shark Tank. She would be excellent on that show.
She would though.
Just like Sheree, you know what? I want Sheree and Toya Bush Harris to get a show on HGTV. I do. I want them to get a show on HGTV. I want Sheree to
Chateau
get.
Charay is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Beautiful.
Toya's last house was beautiful. So I would want them, I would think Toya would do the structural design and then Sheree would get the interior design. Them together would be now bravo, the people who work in the call center. Do not, do not be playing with me. Don't be getting these people these ideas and these dialogues and stuff and not cut me my money.
You're not
Because if
gonna
I
be
see
my money. I
if I
can't
see
stand
Sheree and Toya on the show on HGTV, I want my cut because I said it first here. If I see Kenya on Shark Tank, I want my cut because I said it here first. That's all I'm gonna say. I said it here first. But moving on.
He said he want his money.
I do, like, because I'm telling you, the people in the call center, they be doing that up in there. The Bravo call center, they be up in there giving sending feedback from what these YouTubers saying, and then you
Mm,
see some stuff magically happen, and you like, oh, see, there go my stuff. That's I said that first.
mm. He said, "Let me copyright this." I did. No, I heard the hell out of that.
Yeah,
Look, because networks are they will take an idea from a little person.
they will. I'm telling you, they do it all
Quickly.
the time. That's why I'm saying I said it here first. I will submit this video to the lawyers. I'm not playing with y'all.
I got lawyers in my family.
Yeah, we got it.
Lots of
Trust me.
them. Lots of
Yes.
them.
So moving on to Drew, as we look at her lovely picture here. So Candace Dillard Bassett comes on to
Little
these
self.
Atlanta streets with her little cute self. She is just so cute to me. But that
So cute.
wig, I'm sorry. Candace,
She has hair too.
Candace,
Stop.
I want you to stop wearing them 60-pound wigs and you up there looking like cousin it. I'm
With the
sorry.
Spanish wave.
Like, I'm sorry. I want you to stop wearing them 60-pound wigs on your little ass body.
They do look really heavy
It
on
looks
her.
heavy as hell on
Like
her
the,
head.
back in the 90s, how it was like you did not want to be seen in a wig because of
Yeah,
how they look. That's how her wigs look.
she is way too beautiful
Hmm.
to have the heavy ass wigs. It was given Bucky from Flavor of Love when she was on Love and Hip Hop. It
I'm
was
done
given
with you.
Bucky, like it
You
was.
need
It
to
was given
watch your
Bucky.
mouth while you review.
No, she was giving Bucky. I was like, why she got that big ass wig on? Like, so their show. So Candace invites Drew on stage because originally Shamari DeBow was supposed to join her on stage, so she needed a filler. So she got Drew to sing all of 15 seconds.
It was
I was like,
14.87. That's what the camera said. I
I
remember the
said,
number.
I said, why she didn't sing the whole song? Because they released a version of the song.
We
They
did.
did. They just released it, and it's actually nice. So I don't know why
Maybe they wanted to wait and see if it would actually be aired.
they knew this was gonna be aired. They done brought Candace all the way to Atlanta. They knew this shit was gonna get aired. Like, come on now, no, come on, Candace from Real Housewives of Potomac coming to Atlanta, and they not gonna air none of this. And they brought them cameras there. They was gonna air this because they knew the fans was gonna really just be like, "Oh my God, it's Candace!" Like, and she. The only thing is, I think what would make your point valid that they know they're gonna air it is because Portia's not here because her and Portia were beefing. So I think that that's probably why they may have thought that. But no, that was insane to me that she did a little 15-second little snippet.
And it was a sad snippet.
Yeah.
It was a flat snippet as someone who sings. And it was a pitchy snippet. I
Hmm.
just didn't. And then she performed in this outfit. This outfit that looked like she has been to the grocery store, picked up the kids, got them to school, and got to go clean the house. The outfit, it's given. I don't understand why Drew does this to herself with hair and outfits. Her makeup to me is always like great, but some of her outfit choices, I just didn't like the headband.
I
I
didn't like
didn't.
any of that.
The outfit
I
stressed me
thought
out.
it was like I thought she was gonna change to something like what Candace had on, like have like a little sex appeal, but
Yes,
she
but she
came
went on stage
with the same outfit she did the
in this
rehearsal in.
outfit.
Yeah, I was confused. I
Yeah.
was like, Drew, come on. So speaking of Drew, she finally meets cousin Courtney, and Courtney brought Bryce from oh my god, I hate that I'm doing this from memory and not making any notes because it was bullshit. But she brought Bryce. Drew had worked with Bryce before. I know who Bryce is. I know the movie that they were in together. I just can't think of it right now.
Mhm.
But she brought Courtney, met Courtney, and it was funny when she had FaceTime Candy. I was like, now Drew, why would you do this? Why would you do this when they just told you that her and Candy just got into it?
Because it was a slip up with producers and their scripting of this reality show that got seen. I feel like she was told to do that by producers because she wasn't even at the event to like, and Ralph wasn't involved in the argument to know.
Yeah.
So it was all very strange. And then why does it seem like he says that's his cousin, but did they just meet or something?
So from what I gathered of Courtney's explanation of this, because she just confused the hell out of everybody. Everybody was on Instagram talking about how are they related again. I got what she was saying. So her uncle married his aunt. So they're cousins by marriage, basically.
So they're not family.
They're not blood. They're
So they're not
cousins
family.
through marriage. I mean, some people still count that.
If
So
it was
I'm not
like,
going.
yo, like parent or like, that's just strange. Well, I'm
It,
tired of seeing her. I can't stand her face.
yeah. So when she shows up to the event, I was like, okay, why is she here? Where is Sheree? Sheree, come get your puppy. Why is she here? I'm sick of looking at her. First of all, you tried it last season with the Mulan, whatever her name was. You tried it with her. Then you bring this old loudmouth ass lady here and trying to make her happen, and it's not working.
We don't like Courtney if anyone from Bravo is looking into this. Like,
Bravo in the call center
we don't want her.
escalations team. We do not want to see Courtney back next season. We don't even want to see Sheree back next season.
We
But I
didn't want her back
know,
this
but
season.
I know y'all gonna pull that shit where y'all gonna bring Sheree back. So I'm just over it at this point.
I say think of your pocket. Stop paying somebody to not tell you the truth about their reality on a reality show. That's how I feel. Why
But
are you on a reality show if it seemed like she just want to talk about the other people. But yeah, as for Courtney, it seemed like, okay, Sheree, you supposed to know this woman. But now I feel like this woman's just part of the show. But I can't even really acknowledge her as a friend of because she's not really a friend of. I'm like,
she's not a friend of because she's doing with oh girl from Clark. What was her name? She's doing that. You know how Nene had that one friend with the gap?
Diana?
Not Diana. The
No,
one recently, the Snake Gate girl. What was her name?
I can't remember her name.
Yolanda,
I think Yolanda is right though.
Yolanda, Yavanka, Yovana,
Giovanna.
Yovana.
Giovanna.
Yeah,
There we
I
go.
yeah, it should be every other name in the book before I got it. Yovana. That's how she's moving, like Yovana did. You know how Yovana was just showing up everywhere, and she's supposed to be Nene's friend, but Nene was nowhere to be found, and she was going on trips and stuff. And
Mhm.
that's what Courtney is doing. And it's like, bravo, come on, organization. Let her show up with the friend that invited her on the show because this is
I
stupid.
don't know if they were desperate for footage or something, but yeah,
They couldn't have.
Courtney.
They couldn't have saw her say, "Yeah, she's gonna work just fine." There's no way.
Yeah, I
I
don't
feel like
know.
Sheree pitched her to
Mm.
every extreme, and I feel like they had like a little red envelope to say, if y'all want to see what's in this envelope, y'all got to have her on for 14 episodes. I honestly believe that that's what happened because there's no way Courtney on her own and Bravo producers thought she was a good fit for this show. There's absolutely no way I'm
She's
sorry.
not. And if she did hear about Candy and Candy discussing her and all this stuff, and you're so called in the industry, like she says, and connected to people in the industry, then you should understand how things work. I've from any type of show, don't matter the location, when it involves people who are at a certain level of celebrity, I always hear of them saying they look into people. They have to
They
protect
have to protect
themselves,
their
their
brands. Yeah, I
families, and their
understood that.
brand. Yeah.
I
So
understood that.
the
Like, because if
fact
I
that
come on Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'm expecting everybody to Google the fuck out of me
right.
and
Or
watch these
even like
videos.
do some
Like,
background checks. Like I'm a
exactly.
regular person, and every time I go into a new job, I look everybody up. I want to
Yeah,
know who the hell I'm dealing with because
absolutely.
nobody is who they say they are when they're at work.
Hmm.
And
I learned that the hard way, but yeah, absolutely. It was
yeah, so
definitely, yeah,
I don't care. You can't not hire me because I'm looking people up. I want to know if y'all crazy. Shit, you run the background check on us to get here. But
exactly.
how do I know? But yeah,
So
I feel the Courtney issue, if you really dissect it from that aspect, you're in the industry, you've known people, so she knows how it goes. So for her to even pick a fight with Candy gives I need a check, a good, little recurring check. I want to be on
Hmm.
TVs. And it seems like Atlanta Housewives specifically has a history of when people want to get on the show, they come on it and they either try to befriend the biggest stars on the show, kind of like Sanya's kissing the ass of certain people. They want to be well liked, or they do what Courtney's doing and Yvonne did, and multiple other people where they pick fights with either someone who's supposed to be a matriarch of the group, has been on the show a long time, or is the biggest and most popular person from the show. I feel like that's why she came from for Candy. Candy, even though she's, in my opinion, boring, she's been on the show so long, and we don't really, I mean, Sheree is an OG, but Candy came season 2 and has not left. Like these other OGs leave and come back and leave and come back. So she's been a staple on the show. People keep coming on this show, and I don't even care for Candy. I'm not a huge fan, but people keep coming on the show trying to come for the lady. And it's kind of like, can we
It's
not?
given they want her gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's given that they want her gone from the show. It's obvious that they want her gone, and Candy's not going to leave because she has to keep promoting herself. And I don't blame Candy. I wouldn't leave either. Y'all would have to, they would have to fire me, which they obviously are not going to do right now. So it was pointless. But I have a question for Courtney since we're, still on the subject of her, Drew, Ralph, and all that. Courtney, where's your husband?
She
Why
don't
would
have,
you bring your baby daddy over to Drew in them house?
she has a husband,
That's what they're saying.
and so she brought her baby daddy. I knew the baby daddy
She
and her
got a
were
baby.
together. And I was like, why is he here? So I'm like, are they just trying to
Yeah.
connect people to Drew or something?
That's what I thought too. I had
Because
thought, okay, so
Drew,
y'all brought her baby daddy on here because she's worked with him and stuff
yeah,
like that. But to
Drew's
me,
worked with
that
him,
was kind of
and then it
short
happens
sighted.
to be a cousin of Ralph. So it's like, regardless on if Sheree and this chick have an issue or
Sheree don't show up to film it or not, we gonna have at least one other connection, which would be Drew. Which Bravo, that's kind of messy in a way
it's
because
messy.
you're
The
putting
show,
Drew in a you're putting Drew in a compromising position unknowingly. It's not like she understood what happened between Courtney and Candy to the fullest extent. She
was
wasn't
in
there. So
Chicago with her
y'all are
daddy.
playing a yeah, y'all are playing a dangerous game with that. I see y'all. Y'all ain't no good for that. Cause
Bravo.
now
Your
she has
edges are
to
showing. Like, stop.
yeah, it's like y'all come on now. So moving on from there, and going to the back to the event with Candace and Drew Plum, it's funny seeing who actually showed up to this event because Marlo was kind of on the outskirts until Sonya showed up
Mm.
and Courtney showed up, and no one was really speaking to Marlo because, mind you, Mangetta's at the table and had an issue with Marlo said when they were on their cash trip last season. Candy has an issue with Marlo, obviously, because they just don't like each other, which I have an opinion on that too. I'm gonna say for the end of the video, and then. Of course, Kenya doesn't like Marlo because they have their issue. So it's a really big, like, we don't fuck with Marlo. Why she's sitting at our table, but we know we on the show together, so she has to. So we get to them going into the back to, congratulate Drew on this big success, and everything of that of singing with Candace Diller Bassett, which is a pretty good flex on Real Housewives. Candace is doing good at music. She's the only Real Housewives star that actually took her music career openly serious aside from Candy and Erica Jane and anybody else.
Please, please. No, Erica Jane is not. We.
I have to say because she has a Vegas residency.
She has a Vegas residency due to her engineers mixing her song. Erica Jane is Kim Zolciak on key when it
As
comes
I
to
said, the
singing.
ones who took the music career seriously, I have to say those names. I cannot say a one hitter quitter because I would have said Portia if that was the case. Portia was a one hitter quitter. I could say Shamari because Shamari was doing music before. I'm talking about people who are not known for music
Yeah.
before.
Candace
And
has done a very good job. She
absolutely.
has.
So I have to give
Yeah.
Candace her claps. That's a big flex. So now
And
they're
she can sing.
congratulating her. And she, oh yeah, she could blow. But
Mhm.
so we're going on now, Sonya and Drew. So Sonya and Drew, which for the upteen time, I'm about sick of them too. So Sonya and Drew basically hash out the issues. Drew kind of was a little standoffish. You saw, wow, she goes, I didn't know we had a problem. And Science like, really, Drew, BravoCon? And this is where I needed the producers to show more because I don't remember what happened at BravoCon because there was so much shit that had happened. So I don't remember
They brought
exactly.
up Saya didn't like that Drew had basically said when they were asking them questions about the season, she thought they were good, and Drew basically answered the question like, basically, long story short, Drew was like, they're taking baby steps, and she still doesn't trust her because of what happened in the previous season. Sanya didn't like that because it was done and said publicly, and she was like, but prior to that, I didn't know. You did know because she told you all damn season. You're not going to talk about your issues together when you're in a good place, obviously, but that doesn't change Drew's feelings or yours feelings. Like, you can't be mad that she's doing her job at BravoCon. You just, in my opinion, it was, once again, in my opinion, is Sonya just like looking for something that's
That's
not
what I
there.
think is more so the issue with Sonya because I feel like Sheree and Marlo had their issues with Candy.
Mm-hmm.
Marlo has issues with Kenya.
Mm-hmm.
It only makes sense for Sonya to then have an issue continuously with Drew. It just makes it so we're completely divided. That's just really what it is because Sonya has no real issue with Drew. At least
No.
not one that I feel is subsequent to an actual like problem from two friends. That's to me, I feel like Sonya could even explain the real issue last season. I don't expect her to explain it better this season. I just feel like you just want to have a problem with this lady.
Mm-hmm.
So they did the whole fake makeup thing because I don't think this is over. I really don't. I think it's on ice right now. I think Sonya's gonna look for another moment to beef with Drew.
I think they both
And
realize they're at a performance.
yeah,
They should act
well, I don't
accordingly.
think Sonya realizes that. I think Sonya thinks that Drew should never press her about any of the issues. Which, once again, if I'm picking you up from your car accident, you could have just called your husband who was in Texas, always missing in action. If you're calling me, I would think that you hold me to some subsequent bar because Drew showed up.
Yeah.
So once again, I don't see where the disconnect happened. If you really was trying to catch Drew slipping the way the other lady said, then you would have just waited that shit out and waited for the situation to present itself and let it happen. But you didn't do that. So we looking at you sideways because it seems like you just a pick me, Sonya.
Mm.
And I hate I had to say it like that. But
Because she don't have to be that way, but that's what she's choosing to do. We've given
mhm.
her, what is this, the third season of Sanya or
No,
the
this is her
second?
second. This is her
This is
second
the
season.
second. Now it's like we on multiple seasons of her. If we get to the point of the reunion and the same shit is happening with Sanya, I'm personally really exhausted with it. I don't. I'm sick of it. It's like you're an Olympic gold medalist. You got a fine husband. And then and then you have a beautiful child. You know, your only like true issue, it seems, is like, oh, me and my family were under the same house, it's driving us crazy, but you're blessed enough to have a home big enough. She has a lot of good going on in her life. I don't understand why she's taking this route with this doggone show, Miss Sonia Richards Ross. It's it's old, it's tired. If you got a problem with Drew, speak about it. But if you don't, if you just don't like her, not to get all hood and stuff, but that's how it is. Like if you don't like somebody, speak up about it or shut the hell up and stay away from them and keep their name out your
Yeah,
mouth.
just don't film with her. That's all
Like
you got to
it's very
do.
simple. There's a million
Yeah.
other ladies on this cast and a crazy friend of named Courtney begging for camera time. You don't have to be in front of these people. But Sanya, I just have a feeling she's gonna keep doing this. She's gonna keep coming at Drew. At this point, it's like even if Drew does do something to her because of how Sanya is, it's just like, well, I mean, she was looking for something, so you might as well give it to her. So that's how I feel with Sanya. I'm over her. I'm just over it. I think she should be pregnant too. That's what they say. I think you froze. Uh-oh. I don't know if you're talking, but I think you froze.
And we are back.
Hey.
Sorry, y'all. So, internet issues due to an outage in my area. So, this is all me. Sorry about that. Going back to where we were talking about Sonya and Drew, but we're going to move on a little bit because we've been on them for a minute. But I want to talk about this whole candy incident with Marlo. So Drew actually brought it up. She brought up wanting to know about the incident. She used the word incident
That's
to
the correct word.
describe the overall shooting of Candy's cousin slash, godson, whoever that is to Candy. So Marlo was like, "What happened? What happened?" And it was catching everybody off guard. And Candy immediately shut it down. She goes, "I do not want to talk about this. I don't, care to address this right now." And Marlo took it upon herself to say, "See, and this is the problem. Candy doesn't want to talk about it. So now overall, I don't even want to film this." So she gets up and it was like, well, Candy threw a dig and it was funny. She goes, "Well, do you want to talk about when you cut the girl face?" And I was like, "Oh, we going here with it. Okay." So in response to that, I was like, "Whoa!" And see, and Marlo was like, "See, everybody wants to talk about how, allegedly I cut a girl's face, allegedly I did old white men, allegedly, And I'm just like, Marlo. I said, Marlo, you
Because
came on the show.
you did.
You came on this show talking about this. You came on this show talking about how you dated billionaires and how you
And she's like,
have
because I
500 mugshots.
allegedly date rich white man. Honey, you had one of them on the show when you were a friend of and with like your first season. Like, do you not, do they like not remember? Maybe I
No, and
don't
see,
think
this is where I think the gripe with Candy is because technically Marlo knew Candy first because it came out later that she dated Candy's cousin. And I
Mhm.
think Marlo feels slighted because Candy is not mentioning that or not saying, "Oh yeah, you dated my cousin," and not giving her any stability on that fact versus her coming on the show through Nene. And I think Marlo feels slighted by that. I really do. I think that that's the real issue because Marlo bringing up her nephew in this whole whatever happened. Because when they were putting back the flashbacks of Candy and Marlo in this exchange, and they were talking about how he was, working at Candy's restaurant, and in the text message, Candy said, "Yeah, I do remember him, but he doesn't work here anymore." And
Mhm.
Marlo was like saying he got shot. Marlo acts like this situation with her nephew is the same situation with Candy's cousin. These are two completely different things. Not to say that death is not a real thing, and I want to be honest with and you know truthful with everyone. I'm not saying Marlo does not have a reason to be upset. I am not saying that Marlo does not have a reason to not be in mourning of her nephew's death. I am not saying that at all. What I am only saying is that these two situations are completely different. He did not die at the hands of an employee. He died at the hands of his roommate. Two completely different situations. Just because he worked for Candy at one point in time, Candy does not owe condolences to this boy's mother.
Well, the other thing is Candy, they showed text messages of Candy offering condolences and words
To
of encouragement.
Marlo.
And it's kind of like how Marlo is upset that Drew used the word incident. Maybe she wanted Candy to specifically say condolences, which was not said, but she did, say it's awful to hear what happened.
It doesn't, but yeah, don't most people like, okay, if they don't say the word condolences, they say, "I am sorry for your loss. I hate to have heard that." Or,
Some people don't even
something.
say that. Like my husband is kind of that way when things happen.
Hmm.
Friends pass, and he won't say like I'm sorry for your loss or my condolences. He's more the person, if there's anything you need, let me know. Like that's
Right.
how
And
he
even
offers
that's
support.
fine.
Everyone has different ways of offering support. We don't have to use specific words. It's people on the internet saying Marlo projects. It's people on the internet saying Marlo just wants to attack Candy and bring her down. There's a lot going on. I think that she is mourning, but I don't think that it connects at all to Candy.
It doesn't, and that's my point. My point is that her situation with her nephew does not in any way, shape, or form connect with Candy. And for her to bring in comparison to that, we didn't even know about your nephew dying
We
up until this
did.
point right now.
Yeah. And that's
So,
that's confusing too because I had to actually pause it and rewatch it, rewind a few times because
right,
I was on the internet because I was like, wait, was Marlo's nephew killed in this shooting or something? Like you start to kind of connect the two situations
right.
and they should not be connected because they are different
They're
situations.
different situations, and that's
They're
what I'm
both
saying. That
unfortunate.
was kind of made it seem like she wanted Candy to be and somewhat responsible for the emotional lack there of being apologetic for someone she, I guess, quote unquote, knew. But Candy got over hundreds of people working for her. Like, I'm gonna put it to y'all like this, because we live, we talking, and this is gonna be real. If I were to die,
Mm.
I don't expect my job today to send my mom any type of condolences.
They're not going to.
They're not going to. They're just gonna replace me.
Yep.
That's all they're going to do.
Yep.
They're not going to now. If because I had a supervisor do this before when the guy committed suicide. There was a guy at a previous job that I had. He had committed suicide, and the supervisor we shared at the time actually reached out to the family to, I guess, offer their condolences, but really she was trying to say, does anybody want the stuff he left behind? Like
Mm.
pictures and things of that sort. So I have seen things to that degree, but I have never seen an employer personally reach out to a former employee's family to offer their condolences. Maybe that's something they did in the 90s and 80s, but in today's society, that's not something you see. So I was really confused
That's
at first.
also, let's keep it real. If something happens and he was working at Candy's restaurant, she is the owner of the restaurant. So she quite literally is the definition of the employer. She's got general managers and something in there. Be mad if they don't say something because they directly work with them. I can understand being disappointed, but I think when it comes to places that we work, we have to remember that we just work there. We tolerate each other for the check, and we need the check so that we can live. If we didn't need the check, we wouldn't fucking be there. So I
Right.
think, and that's the case. It's unfortunate what went on, but Candy, it sounds like, was helping him if he had a job in her restaurant at one point, and that she employed it. So she did try to help your family and your loved ones in some way, Marlo. And that's why I understand Candy's like she don't mess with
Yeah, her
Marlo.
disposition towards Marlo is
It's
definitely
warranted.
it's warranted. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
definitely warranted because Marlo is coming off of a gripe that is not making any sense. It is not connecting whatsoever to Candy. It makes you look like a complete hater.
I think she realized last season during the reunion, the production did everything they could to kind of baby her. I felt, at least,
Right.
like they can do what they want in the reunions. The internet, the fans, the viewers, they seen your behavior and they did not like it. I feel like Marlo felt like her reputation was at risk, which it was. They almost didn't bring her back. People didn't want her back. And I feel like she's trying to. She just seemed like the type of chick who'll try and like manipulate it into somebody else being the bad guy. That's what it feels like she's trying to do, specifically with Candy and some of the other women on this cast. I actually think having her on the cast is dangerous to the other women, because the way that she is,
Yeah, the way she stormed on Drew like that and walked about that restaurant angry over literally some words, because even Drew didn't understand. Now,
hollering in the parking lot.
yeah, like I understood what Marlo was saying, but at the
Mm.
same time, it was misplaced. And it was like that wasn't the moment to do that. That wasn't the error of Drew's fault. Like that wasn't, she literally was bringing up incident because that's what it was. That's what's written.
An incident,
So
a
yeah,
situation.
right. So you got mad because she didn't say
Right?
specifically shooting.
She wanted her. That's what she said. She said she's like she's gonna call it an incident. Guess what? When I worked as a manager in many different places, specifically retail factories, let me tell you this: I had an employee that was literally gushing blood everywhere because they got cut by a knife on a machine. Let me tell you, the motherfucker passed out. I had to actually perform CPR. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. I had
Mhm.
to fill out the same incident report I would if somebody got bit by a hamster, just slipped and fell and was fine. Like, it's called an incident because that's what it is.
It is
It's an
a business. It's not like he was at an event that Candy was at, and he no, it was at the restaurant.
but maybe that's the I know she had a difficult life, and I know that there were times that she was focused on other things where she should have been focused on schooling. So maybe Marlo needs to go back and take some English classes and
No, Marlo
understand.
needs no Marlo needs a new therapist.
She don't have a therapist. She has a
No,
life
she
coach.
said well, she says she goes to therapy. So I'm only going by the words. I know we playing on semantics here, but what I'm saying
Lord.
is that I need her to I see this is why Iyanla shouldn't have retired. See, Iyanla, this is why you shouldn't have retired because Marlo need to be sitting in your vestibule at this
She
point.
does. Yeah.
Because there is something wrong with her.
Oh yeah.
There is something really wrong with this lady.
Yeah.
And the fact that Bravo continues to endorse this, it's I can't see this going any way but downhill from here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna tell y'all, Bravo up in the call center. I'm gonna say this again. Y'all need to do better with how y'all cast. Y'all need to do better with these storylines, and y'all need to, when serious things happen, y'all need to have like an affiliation statement that says, "Hey, we're not condoning any of the violence because the situation
Yes.
was serious." Marlo turned this into a you know a popularity contest of whose trauma was worse. That's
Yeah,
what
it's
she
not
did,
okay. They should have,
and
it's
that's not
interesting.
okay.
I will say that Bravo and this network has a history of doing that. You go watch a show like Vanderpump Rules, this little cheating scandal that's happening, all white cast. Let me tell you, one thing happened. This girl cheats. Bravo does not condone. There's a
Condone
whole
cheating. Yeah.
paragraph, but when it comes to the black shows where things go down, like Toya's behavior, for instance, on Married to Medicine, getting violent in earlier seasons. You got even Portia when she attacked Kenya and the scepter and stuff, like all these things that happen. There's never a note on the black shows like we don't condone this and that.
Yeah, because
Sending the message to people watching who aren't black, like, well, this is what you expect them to do. It's not what we expect African Americans
we
to do.
don't
It's
expect this, and
not
that's the thing, and that's
okay.
exactly my point. We don't
Yeah,
expect these things to happen. Marlo's nephew getting shot is a very serious thing. Candy's cousin getting shot is a very serious thing. We don't need Marlo, and the fact that not one producer said, Marlo, this is not a moment for this. This is not what you need to be doing right now. We need to take these matters serious right now because they didn't know all the details at this time. So that's where I'm trying to understand why no one interjected and stopped Marlo in her tracks to say, hey, if you
because
want to
the
go home,
producers on this show is trifling. Because when Candy was saying they don't want to discuss it in front of the nephew who was shot with the sling,
that's what I'm
they were
saying.
still
Yes.
trying to get her to discuss it. And it's
Right.
like, you're doing this in front of the victim himself.
Yeah. I
That was
feel Drew was innocent asking. I feel like that wasn't innocent. I think Marlo took it way deeper and made it gutter when she, wanted Drew to say the word shooting.
something's wrong with Marlo.
Yeah, something's wrong with Marlo. That
You
was
said
not
it,
cool.
and this showed it. Like at first, I was like, maybe she's doing it for the camera, but then when they went to the parking lot, and she was still hollering, shaking the
Yeah.
wheels,
No, I said, oh no,
I was
she's
like,
serious about this. And
oh,
it's
she's
like,
really upset. Like she's screaming at cameramen and stuff. So I'm like, that's not. This is not normal. But as for Drew, I'm glad she stood right there with her
me
yellow
too.
flowers.
Me too.
I'm glad she stood right there
And looked
with her
like
flowers.
because you could tell Drew's like you could tell she's confused as hell.
Yeah, she
Looking
was
at that's
genuinely
why I chose
confused.
this picture because if you look at her face, especially in that split picture where she's by herself, Drew
Mhm.
was like looking at them cameraman like, "What did I just
Yeah,
walk
she
in
looked
on?"
at the cameraman, not the other women. So
Yeah,
she knew, like, y'all. And then also Drew's from Chicago. So I think she's looking at them like, if I want to tear your ass up, I can. But
yeah.
obviously, you can tell when somebody's like
She
off.
was yeah. Marlo was off, but Drew was restraining herself. You could tell you could tell she didn't know she was about to fight in this moment. She didn't know what was about to happen.
When somebody get in your face like that, I'm like, wait, I would have had a fist ready just in case.
Or
Because
I'd
why?
have picked up one. Or I'd have shoved one of the flowers up her nose. One to two would have happened.
Right.
I'm not
With a
gonna play
good
with.
tulip.
I'm not gonna play with Marlo. I'm not gonna play. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
play with you.
Somebody with her history, though,
Yeah, I'm not
outside of
gonna.
the show.
Yeah, she's dangerous. I'm not gonna play with Marlo. I'm not.
Mhm.
Look, I would have walked away so quick. I wouldn't even entertain this conversation because this was sick. So I wouldn't even have played with y'all. But
Marlo don't. She older than everybody anyway. I feel like they just have her and Sheree there because Kenya needs somebody who's in her age range. I really do feel that way, but
not
I could be
somebody in your
wrong.
age range, girl.
It's true because the rest of these women are in their mid 30s and 40s. So, you got Sheree. She's been on TV, Sheree, since we were in high school. Like, shit. She had grown kids when we were in high school. And to y'all watching, we were in high school over a decade ago. So
15 years for me.
yeah, like
So yeah,
girl,
yeah.
you
I'm
still a
kind of
teen.
like
And
yeah.
back then she was in her 30s, 40s, Sheree. So damn, wait,
No,
shit.
back then, no,
How
because
old was
Sheree
she?
had the baby at 14, so or allegedly 14. So
Oh,
she had that baby because remember that wasn't we didn't know that to be her daughter at that time. That was her assistant.
oh
You all
yeah.
remember that? Yeah, and that's what pissed
Oh,
me off.
yeah, yeah.
That was my first piss off with Sheree was the fact that now this is your daughter. You didn't want people to think you were old, so you said that was your assistant.
I forgot about
Oh,
that. Damn.
yeah. But we coming up on an hour, you guys. We didn't mean to talk with a song about it and have the technical issues, but we want to make sure we keep these minimum hour at most. Sometimes things happen. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe to both of our channels. Watch Your Mouth Reviews, Mrs. Best Reviews. She does music. I will soon be watching movies. So we are trying to get this. We're on the road to 1,000. She almost at 100. Y'all give my girl her flowers because she is definitely doing her job on this YouTube street. But we love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back here on Thursday to actually recap couples retreat. So be on the lookout for that.
Thank you. Have a good
All
day.
right. Have a good one.
Bye bye.